Hey guys, this is David Wynn with the Mortgage Edge podcast, brought to you by Click and Close Mortgage. Today, I got a great guy out of the Waco, Texas area, Kyle Weissler. That's Kyle. What's up, man? How are you?
Doing pretty well, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm
Thanks for being
excited.
with us. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I've been. You have a very interesting story, so I was waiting to get you on here, man. So let's talk a little bit about you. Waco realtor.
yep,
I think you told me you've been a realtor since 2020. I got in
yeah.
during COVID. Is that right?
That's right. That's exactly right. It's been a journey.
Yeah, it has been a journey, man. And you're in 5 years, or actually, yeah, almost 6 years. You've kind of dabbled in everything, which we're going to talk about. But let's take it way back, man. Let's talk about how
Yeah,
you got started in real estate and everything else. I think it really
yeah.
starts with your background. You were in the Air Force, right? So
That's correct. Yeah.
walk us through the your life and how you got into real estate and so forth.
Yeah. I joined the military Air Force back in right out of high school, so about 2014. Um, and that's where I met my wife. We both met up in Minot, North Dakota. Why not Minot for the people that know? And we were there for 6 years. I separated, and then my wife actually stayed in the military. So she got orders down to Omaha, Nebraska. So we both went there. We had at the time, our daughter was probably less than 6 months old. We're not even born yet. Sorry, she was born in Omaha. So um, got to Omaha and COVID hit. So at the time, I was doing an electrical apprenticeship, um, and I was enjoying it. A lot harder labor than my current job, but it was fun. It was rewarding. But once COVID hit, we didn't want to send our daughter to daycare anymore. It's just, we didn't know what was going on. No one really understood what that disease was or sickness. So we decided I was going to stay home with her. And obviously, with the military, she's got to go to work. So I stayed home, and it was the first time I've been home all day you know, for high school. I was working all the way through high school too. So I was always working, and I just realized that it was just not for me to stay home. So we knew that she was going to be separating that year and that we were going to move down to Texas to get closer to family. And I always had this small seed that just wanted to get into real estate. So while I was staying home with my daughter, I started working on a state license for Texas. And I got it pretty quick. I mean, Texas, it's like 180 hours or so, and finished it about a month and a half, tested and everything. And I interviewed with a team. It was weird how I got referred to the team that I interviewed with, but got interviewed with them and just hit it off. It was a small team at the time. I think there's probably only maybe two other agents at the time, but it was a full operating team, and we just clicked. So I knew that's who I wanted to work with, so I signed on with them before I even moved down to Texas. I was cold calling while in Omaha. And I remember my first calls is in my basement, just where it's quiet, and I was just nervous to make those first few calls, but that's where I started. Then, moved down to Omaha and or moved down to Texas and just really hit the ground running.
So let's talk about those early days of cold calling. I mean, you're cold calling
Yeah,
for leads, right? You're cold calling for
yeah,
those leads that came in, and you're trying to either
yeah,
get buyers or sellers, correct?
yeah. That's exactly right. I mean, we at the time it was a newer team, but just they weren't super organized at the time, so we just had a bunch of leads that had not, looking back, were not getting the touches they needed, and so those were the people I was reaching out to. I don't think I ever got anything solidified while I was up in Omaha, but it gave me the chance to really just feel comfortable cold calling and talk to people I didn't know that was so new to me. So by the time I got down to Waco, it was just easy just to really jump right into it, um, and be able to start going on appointments and just setting those appointments and meeting people.
Well, did you have immediate success, or talk about that journey in the
Yeah,
beginning?
I mean, I think a lot of you had immediate success down in COVID. So I like to say, yes, I did. I did great my first year. But the great thing is that I continue to have growth ever since then. It allowed me to set such a great foundation and build this clientele, provide the service that allowed them to feel confident to refer business to me in the coming years, um, or when the time was come for them to sell. They felt great with me, so they called me 2, 3 years later. So yeah, I had a great first year, and I was super blessed. And I think a lot of people felt that way. Um, Even 2021 was still pretty good.
Yeah.
2022 it started getting a little tougher. I was able to just continue growing, and a lot of that is because of the team and the mentorship. But
Well,
um,
in
Yeah.
2020, COVID was an anomaly year. Those next 3 years was the best
Yeah.
years in the
Yeah.
history of
Yeah.
real estate. So
That's
anything
right.
else, you come in at the, I mean, it was like shooting fish in a barrel, and now it's
That's
tough,
exactly right.
but
Yeah.
yet you're still thriving, you know. So
Yeah. But it
that's
set the foundation, and we were able to, I remember coming down to the office, and me and one of the owners at the time, we'd sit in this office, and we had a system where we'd sit there for 3 hours, and we had a certain number of contacts we wanted to make every day. Sometimes I would make calls. If they didn't answer, she was sending a text to that person, or vice versa. And I mean, we were probably dialing at least 300, people a day, I would say, right? And just trying to get to our contact goal. So it was
that's
it was the
awesome.
grind, but it just built that foundation for sure.
And that's the thing. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people
Yeah.
can't call 100, much less 300
Yeah.
people a day. But
It's not fun. It sucks. Yeah.
it
It's
sucks.
not fun at
Or
all. Yeah.
and you probably didn't do it for a day or a week or a month. You did that for months,
It was very
probably.
consistently. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I was doing that for sure the first year. And then I was able
Yeah.
to start kind of slowly down back, but it was still always trying to meet that contact goal. So it's doing the thing that nobody wants to do, right? I mean, that's really what sets the people apart, the good agents, I would think.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about your investment journey, because that's something
Yeah.
I do know. I know you have 10 doors. Which one came
Yeah.
first, being a realtor or being an investor?
Being a realtor. Yeah. I wish I started earlier. And I remember, being in the military, you're not making great money, but you're making enough to where I could have easily used my VA loan house hack of some sort, buy fourplex, whatever the case is. And I didn't. I didn't use my money responsibly back then. So being in real estate and then being surrounded by, my mentor and a couple other people that just really got me into it. And my mentor's very heavy into real estate investing, still is. We're partners on stuff now. So that journey just really started to grow. I mean, really I think I bought my first investment in 2021. So it was very fast that I bought my first one.
And how did you buy it with? Did you do the VA? Of course, you can't because that's
No, no, I did not.
private
No, that
money,
one was
right?
just
You didn't
yeah,
hack it, right?
I did not. No, that was just a local bank. And, a lot of mine were the Burr method. So, I'm buying it. The banks here are great. And I'm sure there's other banks in other areas that will, they're just asking for 15% of the purchase price and then they'll finance the entire rehab as long as your, ARV is there. But
Yeah.
um, that's how I did my first one. The next one, I think I used my similar to the VA loan because we ended up living there for a little bit, but I've always done like the Burr method to get started for my first five or so.
That's awesome, man. Well, you have
Yeah.
10 doors. What's how many more? Because I know one of the things we talked about is you're one to heavily invest into investment, right? Going to
Yeah.
multifamily and everything else.
Yeah. 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 So I want to keep going. I mean, one of the main reasons I do it is just to offset taxes. The rentals that having rentals is great. It's some good. I've made some great decisions. It's generated some great passive income, but it's work, it's time, um, expenses come up. So doing it the right way, I think taxes are the greatest advantage for me. So I want to keep, I have to buy more just to help offset my sales. And so this year the goal is to get about six doors, whatever that looks like. I would like to jump into more larger multifamily. I have a couple duplexes, but I really want some like 4 plus, 6 plus units this year is the goal.
And are you flipping? Are you holding? What's your philosophy in that?
I hold most of mine. I'll do a quick, I just did a quick flip where I bought it super cheap and I just barely put any money into it, put it right back up and it can make a quick 10, 15. But I like holding mine. I'm young
Yeah.
enough to where I can just ride that appreciation. The my mentor has said something to me, the flipping, you can get rich, right? But holding, you're going to get wealthy. So, and I truly believe that. So I try to hold as much as I can. If the opportunity comes up for a flip, I have one up for sale right now, then for sure I'll do it. But I really enjoy the holding and the owner finance stuff, which I'm sure we'll get into.
That's awesome, brother. So let's get a little bit into you and your background. So who's a hero in your life, there, Kyle?
Well, I have a lot of them. I'm so blessed to be surrounded by just great people. There's five people I can name for sure. Of course, my parents. There was times that I was like, this is just not it. Right? It's tough, and they, going from a military fixed income to say, hey, uh, I'm going to go down to the state I've never been to. I know I don't have any family down there, no friends. I have a daughter and a wife to support, and I'm going to jump into real estate sales, right, in a commission-based job that I've never done before. They were super supportive in it, and that helped, right? I mean, I think having people behind you saying, "Yeah, you can definitely do this," and it makes those tougher days easier. And of course, my wife just having the trust in me for the last 5, 6 years, right? We've been super blessed. She's been able to stay home with the kids, and really instill those, the mores that we want into our kids and be there for them. So that's a blessing for all of us as well. And then like just my mentors, right? I have, like Kirk is one of my biggest mentor when it comes to just logistic and getting stuff down. Then I got Susan, who's just very faith-based and has taught me just to be how grateful and to really count blessings, give back. And then Tammy is also just another grinding. She was the one that was in that office with me, and we were sitting there and calling multiple people a day. So it was her and I in the beginning just grinding. So I would say those are like the top people that have just been so instrumental in the last 5, 6 years of my success.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Great heroes to follow.
definitely.
What's Tell us about a hardship in your life that you had to endure.
But yeah, um, I think I love my kids, but they're both diagnosed with autism. Um, so it's hard to balance trying to support them financially, but they need more care and love. I mean, every kid needs a lot of love, but I want to pour so much more into them. So I think just the balance of work and life and making sure that for a long time I was just working so much and putting so many hours, which I think was necessary in the beginning, but for the last 2, 3 years I've been able to really step back and put less hours in the business, and I'm home more than I've ever been. I can start working when I want to start working. I feel confident that I can do that. Track record shows the business is going to show up, put the work in. So I think there's that having that work-life balance, because you can make a lot of money in real estate, and it's very easy to want to just grind, 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 but then forget about why we're doing that, right? So remembering why we're doing it, counting our blessings while we have them. Last thing we want to do is go make all this money and then, you know, look back and we didn't spend any time with our family, or use that money on our family and to achieve our dreams that we have together. So um, that's probably was the hardest part.
Yeah, I knew that. I was wondering if you were gonna bring that up. Yeah, you're a great dad, dude. Family's
Yeah,
important. So what's a highlight in your life?
I liked. Um, I think when me and my wife, we didn't grow up farming or have any farm animals. We had dogs and whatnot, but we always wanted some land ever since we've known each other. And 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, we bought our now home. So we got 6 acres of beautiful home. Got some cows, goats, had some chickens. So it's just living that dream has been amazing. We get to go home and it's my peace. It's where I get to turn everything off and just be home and be in that moment. And everything from getting up in the morning and hearing the cows moo to the sunsets at night are just amazing. So it's easy to go home and be like, okay, this is what I've been working for every day, and just taking that in. It's been amazing.
Being a farmer, man.
Yeah,
When you talk about it, man, it brings joy. I can see it in your face, brother.
yeah. I don't know. I don't want to consider myself a farmer, right? We're a homestead life, right? Farmers are working
There you
way
go.
harder than I work, right? But
Yeah.
being able to raise the cattle and know where our meat's coming from, it's just little stuff like that. You just have a new, profound, um, I don't know what you want to call it, appreciation of
Yeah.
what we do. So yeah, it's amazing.
What's one hope that you have for your life?
And hope. Um, the goal is to be out of sales, right, in a couple years, but um, I hope to be able to get my retirement job. I want to continue investing and whatnot. That I enjoy that a lot, but my retirement job would be to buy more land and just run cattle. I mean, I know you can make money doing it. I'm not knowledgeable enough to be like, yeah, let's go buy 100 acres and run, 100 head of cattle, right? But I want to be able to do it as like a hobby,
Yeah.
bringing in a little bit of money, but that just sounds super relaxing and fun to me. So a great experience. Yeah.
Man, I don't know if anybody's ever said this before, but just sitting here talking to you, Kyle, you are most one of the most genuine person that I've
Yeah,
ever met. That's awesome,
I
dude.
appreciate that.
Uh,
Yeah,
well, let's talk a little bit about real estate in the Waco area. What's going
yeah,
on down there, man? Is it a good
yeah,
market? Hot? It's
yeah.
it's a buyer's market right now, right?
It
Same down
is.
there. What's
Yeah,
going on?
it is. I think it depends on who you talk to. I mean, I primarily work with investors. So,
Hmm.
every market that we face, there's opportunity. So I don't think, I'm not really feeling the buyer's market is great. We get to go to these listings of these sellers that are, getting almost desperate to sell and make these offers that are not, 3, 4 years ago would have been laughed at, but now they're, taking us serious, which is great. Um, Sellers are great as well. I would say a majority of my business is listings though. So I think just, we're taking about 100 to 120 days on market right now for the price point I'm in. Um, but I think, that was an adjustment coming from 2020. You sell something, within a couple days with multiple offers to now something sits on the market for 80 days and it's hard not to think, am I doing something wrong? And then 3 weeks go by and you're getting an offer like, and you look at the days on market like, oh, I'm right at the average. So getting that mindset of, yeah, we're going to sit for 100, 120 days and that's totally okay. And then just translating that to the sellers can sometimes be a challenge, but as long as you know, they can trust you, the 120 days comes along and you're right on the money on what you know, told them the expectation was. So it's a good market. I'm happy with it. It feels
Yeah,
healthy.
are you doing any strategy or anything to get those sellers houses going, or just listening it, marketing it?
Yeah. I think besides the standard some marketing, I'm not super heavy in marketing to be honest. A lot of my stuff is word of mouth. Um, from when I'm pushing listings out, but as well as my referrals and whatnot. But I would say something that's helped tremendously is Real Estate Solutions, a business I started that allows us to offer owner financing on all of our listings and any home right for sale. And the seller isn't the one having to offer that owner financing. So we're opening the door to a much bigger pool of buyers, right? Which I think is super important to get as many buyers qualified for a home, right? We want to open that door to as many people as we can, and that's what this has done. So a lot of sellers I've talked to, when I say that to them and show them what we can do with it, super excited about it. So that's helped tremendously.
Yeah, I look at that and see how the heck do you not get more sellers? You know, you're coming in, your
Yeah,
company saying, hey, you know what? They don't have to get traditional financing. Hey,
yeah,
if they can't get traditional financing, we'll owner financing and get them to this house.
yeah,
I would think that that's a selling point that a lot of realtors can't even do out there.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing is we started this business and it's not super exclusive to us, but now that we're getting the word out, we want agents to use this as a tool for their listings and their sellers. So there's enough business to go around for everybody. By no means are we trying to corner this market and say, if you use us, you can only use this program, and we want other people to use it as well. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, sellers seem super receptive with it.
Well, as a lender, I can tell you we're using it, so I can't wait to
Yeah,
do our first one with you. So
yeah, yeah,
I think it's a great program,
yeah.
and it separates, you know, it, I don't want to say it's a niche because it's definitely something that's needed this time. Affordability is huge right now.
Yeah,
We're running into a lot of stuff. People have the money but not have the credit, or people have the credit but
right,
not have the money. So there's a lot of different things out there that's happening.
right.
Well, Kyle, we could sit here and talk to you all day about stuff,
Yeah,
but I know you got to go. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us.
sure.
What should we have talked about that we didn't talk about today?
Yeah, I think I would love to talk about, real estate solutions. I think getting the word out is just going to help everyone in this market. Uh, Buyers, sellers, agents, lenders, title companies. It generates business for everybody. So I would love to hash that out and provide that opportunity for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And guys, not only is he a great realtor, but again, the company that he started will finance you a house if you have credit issues or money issues or whatever. He'll get you into that house. I think it's a great promotion. Kyle, if the people out there want to find you, and I know they do, how they get hold of you?
yeah. Well, two ways, I guess, for real estate sales. They can just give me a call. or send me an email. I'm sure we can put it on Spaley or whatever you want to do on that. But for real estate solutions, we have a website, realestatesolutionsnow.com, and that's a great way to reach us. It gives all the information on our company, and borrowers can apply right there. Agents can contact us with any questions. So either way,
And if you're watching this on screen, you saw on the lower third down there his phone number, guys. Well, I'm David Wynn. I'm with the Mortgage Edge podcast. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you later.
see ya.